Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ignite Church. Good to see your beautiful faces. Thank you for tuning in online. My name is Bobby. I'm the associate pastor here at Ignite. It's my pleasure to greet you this morning, to welcome you in. Let me tell you our why. Why do we do this? We believe that we're here to help people discover who God created them to be, so that our families, our community, and our world can experience the life that only Jesus can give. That's our why. We want to see people come to know who God created them to be, who he made them to be, and then come to life in Jesus. That's our hope for you today, and we're so thankful that you're a part of that. If you're a guest with us today, very special welcome to you. It's a big deal to us. It's a big deal that you're here. We hope that you make yourself home. Listen, we'd love to connect with you, and the way that we do that is in that seat there in front of you, in the seat back, there's a yellow Connect card. If you'll grab that, and then there's a pen nearby, just fill out some basic information there. And take that after the service and turn it into the welcome desk there in the lobby. We have a goodie bag for you just to say thank you so much for being a part of the service. And then also we'll send you a thank you email. And it'll just have a few steps for you, some options, some things, information. You can take some next steps with us if that's something you're interested in doing. We'd love to connect with you today, and we thank you for being here. Let me give you some news, some upcoming news, all right? So first of all, I want to let you know that we've got baptisms coming up on February 11th. In a few weeks, we're going to have baptisms that Sunday, February 11th, after the 10:30 service. And we're really looking forward to that. We've got some folks who decided to follow Jesus, and they're taking that next step and obeying him and living their life after him. If you're interested in being baptized, we'd love to be a part of that part of your journey. We'd love to connect with you and guide you as you take that next step in your journey. So if you'd let us know about that, you can do that through the church app. If you download the church app on your phone and then search up Ignite Bay City, or we're on the web, ignitechurch.cc. ignitechurch.cc. Look us up. There's a button on the app or the web called baptism. Click that. There's a brief form you'll fill out, and then we'll follow up with you and give you some next steps. We'd love to be a part of that on your journey in following Jesus, man. We're excited about that. February 11th is coming up. All right, also want to let you know about our crew. We are looking for some crew members. We'd love to have you use your gifts here. We believe everybody has a gift. Everybody has a calling on their life. Everybody can serve. And so if you're wanting to be a part of our crew, our superstar team, then same method. You just register through the church app or through the website, and we'll follow up with you. There's different buttons on there. There's different places that you could serve and get involved and get engaged. And so we'll guide you along that process too. Just click that button, crew, and then we'll follow up with you from there, all right? Also, coming up February 4th, so a few Sundays from now, February 4th, we're going to have a church family meeting. And so this is a big deal. It's a big deal. This is where the church family comes together, and we've got some exciting news, some important news for you guys about the future of our church, and we'd want you there. So whether you're a member, an official member, like I went through the Essentials membership class, I'm legit. Whether you're there or you just come, and this is your church, you feel like, man, this is where I want to be, this is where I've been coming, then we'd love to have you. Either way, we're not going to check your card when you come in, all right? Just come that February 4th, Sunday night, 6 p.m. right here in the auditorium. We got some exciting news about the future of our church. We're looking forward to that meeting with you guys, all right? Here at Ignite, we believe in giving, and we're thankful for your generosity. That's really what helps make that why possible, is the gifts that you give. We have a generous church. Thank you so much for being generous. We appreciate every gift. If you're a guest with us, no pressure to give. Don't feel obligated to give. Let this service just be a gift and a blessing to you. If you'd like to give, there are 4 different ways we do that. There's the boxes here on the back wall in the auditorium. We have the church app, as I said, ignitechurch.cc, the web, and then also we're on Venmo, Ignite Bay City. And so we appreciate every single gift. Thank you so much for being so generous. All right, now that you got the news, let's get going with the next message in our series, A Better Way. Our lead pastor, Chad Hammonds, and yours truly. All right, so listen, we've been in this series called A Better Way, and let me start off with this question, all right? Let me ask you this. Do you ever feel like you're doing your best, trying to live life, following Jesus, trying to be, I use this word, and I don't use it lightly because I think we have a conception, like a misconception, or I guess a preconceived notion that we're trying to be a good Christian, right? We're really trying to live a good life and follow Jesus and do what's right. You ever do that and then you feel like everything, it just doesn't work out? Like it's just not going your way. Like stuff's still going wrong. Life's still crazy, right? Like I'm trying to be a good Christian. I'm really trying to follow Jesus. I'm trying to do what's right. And stuff still happens. Like I don't understand why this Christianity thing isn't working. I think we've all probably experienced that at different points in our life. Some of us may be there right now. And it's frustrating when you're trying to do what's right, but everything seems to be going wrong. And you just get tired of life. Like you're tired of it not working out. You're tired of the grind. You're tired of being overstressed. Tired of being angry when you know you shouldn't. Tired of being anxious about things that you don't want to be anxious about, right? You're just tired of being tired. You ever get there? Sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? Like too many. Okay, I thought that would get a better laugh. Sorry. Too many problems, man. I got too many problems to solve. I got too much weight on my shoulders. I got too much pain that I'm dealing with. I don't understand, why is this not working? Well, if you've ever felt that way or you feel that way right now, this is a series for you. It's called A Better Way, and we're talking about a better way to do life. And we've had this question in this series, and I want to ask it again today because I think it's a significant question. And it goes like this: what if the biggest enemy, the greatest enemy of the life that you want to live, of the life that you feel God's called you to live, is the life that you're living right now, the way that you're doing life now? What if that is the reason that's keeping you from the life that God called you to? So think about that as we're talking today, and I want to read these words to you. Jesus said this. This is kind of the theme scripture of this series. He said, "I am the way. I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." So Jesus is the better way. He lived the better way. He lived the way that we're called to live and follow him, right? And every single day, you and I, we get to choose how we live our lives. We get to choose the way in which we live our lives. Today, we're going to continue to look at his way versus our way.
So how many of you are here with us right now? I mean, I know you're physically sitting in the seat, or maybe you're watching online, but I mean, how many of you are here in this moment, right this second? Probably most of you, just because I just asked that question, okay? However, a lot of the time we drift, and so we might physically be somewhere, but mentally, we're anywhere else except for where our body is. And just in case you're struggling with that a little bit today, I want to help you be here in this moment with us. So stand up with me. There's just see now, because if you weren't here with me, now you are for sure, because you're like, I had to stand up, and you're now like, why are we standing up? Just stretch a little bit. Do the neck thing. Stretch however you stretch. This morning we did like the old man stretches. See the old guys doing that, like apparently I'm one of them. And, just wiggle around a little bit. Now I know you're with me. Like you're like, what is he going to have us do next? Sit back down. Okay. So statistically speaking, some of you, a good portion of you, will not be here with us in the next few minutes. I don't mean you're going to die. I mean, you're mentally going to have already drifted to somewhere else. We're going to find out. We're going to find out if that's true or not. But what happens is we're physically here, but then I start to daydream. We start to drift. I am the king of daydream. I can drift like just as good as anybody else. And so I know what I'm talking about here. My wife's up here shaking her head. Yes, that is 100% true. But you could be here with us today, but then your phone vibrates in your pocket, and you're like, man, I wonder who's texting me. I shouldn't have put it in my pocket. I should have set it on the seat so I could look over without anybody knowing. If you have an Apple Watch, you could have just I'm going to check the time right quick. Okay. But you start to drift. And you're not in the moment any longer. Like, what do I have to do today? Where are we going to eat? I got to take that test tomorrow. I got bill. Oh my gosh, I forgot to pay that bill. Or you're distracted by the person that's sitting 2 rows ahead of you, and you're like, why would you ever wear that? Or the person a couple of seats behind you, you're like, can you please stop talking? Or whatever it is. You start to drift, and you're really not in the moment any longer. Drifting is often our way. Very often it's our way. And I want to encourage you, let's fight the drift today.
And let's look at the way that Jesus lived, the better way, right? Because he is, as he said, the way. So we're going to look at him. And I want to remind you that when we're saying the way, usually, like, if you're going somewhere, you got a destination in mind, then we think that there's a way to get there, right? Like, and then there's points in our life where maybe I need to go right, maybe I need to go, which direction do I go, right? But when we say those words, a better way, and the way that you do life, what we're talking about is not necessarily a direction like right or left. It's more of a process of how you think, like the way that you think about life and the way that you process situations and people and interactions. And that is what we're talking about when we're saying do that a better way. Now, Jesus, he's our example, right? He is the way. That's who we're looking at. He was fully present in every moment. And when he was walking the earth and he was here, he was wherever his feet were, he was there. And think about this now. Jesus had a lot to do, right? We talked about this last week. He's busy. Is like, I got to do this, and on my way, something's going to happen, but I got to do this, right? And so even with that mentality, knowing that there was things that needed to be done, he was on his way to do something, he's still present in the moment. Wherever he was there, okay? And we're going to look at that in this story right here and see that destination, like the destination's important, but that's not the only goal. The journey in getting there is just as critical. Every step along the journey is just as critical as the destination. So let's look at this story. As Jesus approached Jericho, a blind man was sitting by the roadside begging. And when he heard the crowd going by, he asked what was happening. They told him, Jesus of Nazareth is passing by. So I want you to get this picture in your mind, because wherever Jesus went, like his fame was growing. There was people, just like throngs of people, crowds of people around him. So as this guy's sitting by the roadside, it's like a parade is basically going by. There's all these people shoulder to shoulder, all this commotion, all this noise. People are pulling on Jesus and asking him and talking to him. And he knows, I got to get here because I got something I got to do. And meanwhile, this guy that's hollering out, listen to what he says. He called out, the blind man called out, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. And those who led the way rebuked him and told him, be quiet, just be quiet. But he shouted all the more, Son of David, have mercy on me. And Jesus stopped and ordered the man to be brought to him. And when he came near, Jesus asked him, what do you want me to do for you? Lord, I want to see, he replied. Jesus said to him, receive your sight. Your faith has healed you. Immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus, praising God. And when all the people saw it, they also praised God. So Jesus has this like undivided attention. Wherever he is, he's sensitive, he's there, he's intentional about the people who are around him, right? And I think just for me personally, I don't know, maybe you can relate to this, but that's difficult to do, especially when I'm going somewhere and I have something that I know I'm about, something that I know, then everything else is just in the way. Like, that's how I feel. Like, if I'm driving to Walmart and I'm behind you and you're driving 20 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone, I'm losing my mind, because I'm like, we got to get there, people. Let's go. Like, that's just like, I can't focus on anything else because I got to get to my destination. Like, oh, I got this deadline I got to meet at work, and so comes over and wants to tell me about what happened on the weekend or what. I can't do that. Like, I'm got to get this. Okay, yeah, thank you. That's nice. Like, you just don't have time for these things, right? To the people around, that guy, the blind guy, was annoying. It was like, hey, be quiet. Don't bother Jesus. He's busy. He's got real stuff to do. He ain't got time for you. But the guy shouted all the more. And what did Jesus do? He said, nope, stop. Because I need to talk to this guy. Bring him to me, right? Jesus was fully present in the moment. Wherever he was, whoever was around him, he was on his way to somewhere else. And this guy, who other people thought was annoying, he wasn't annoying to Jesus. Jesus had a destination. He had somewhere to be, but he was present in the now.
So the same story continues. Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. So he's still on his way. He's going somewhere and passing through Jericho. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. He wanted to see who Jesus was, but because he was short, he couldn't see over the crowd. So this guy is vertically challenged. He can't see. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him. Since Jesus was coming by that way. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today. So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. Jesus was on his way somewhere else, and he's already been interrupted by the blind guy just a little bit before, and so he's still traveling. And Jesus stops to talk to a corrupt tax collector. Okay? In those days, the tax collectors, which is what Zacchaeus was, generally it was this. The Romans ruled over the Jewish people in this day. And the Romans had Jewish people become tax collectors and made them be the ones that collected the taxes from the other Jewish people. Well, what happened is the tax collectors would cheat and they would skim off the top. And they would tell their own flesh and blood and say, hey, y'all owe $20,000 when they only owed 10, and they would keep the extra 10, whatever the amounts were. So tax collectors often were wealthy, but it's because they cheated the people, and then people knew it, but they couldn't do anything about it, and so they hated these guys. Most of the people in that crowd with Jesus looked down on Zacchaeus. I mean, he was short, so they didn't look down on him for that reason, but they looked down on him because he stole from them. He was like the lowest of the low of society. They don't want to have anything to do with this man. But Jesus stopped. So he's like, oh, I'm stopping for this guy. Jesus was present in the moment. That was his way. And he looks at him and says, hey, we're going to hang out today. Now, Jesus knew what was going to happen. And if you keep reading this story, you find out that all the people around thought exactly what I just told you, and they grumbled and complained that why would Jesus ever talk to this guy? He's not worth Jesus' time. Look who he's hanging out with, somebody like a tax collector. Jesus knew that being in the moment with this guy would cause other people to gripe and complain and gossip and look down on him. He knew it, but it didn't matter. Jesus was in the moment, and he would stop even for a despised person of society. He wasn't only present in the happy moments that would make him look good, because I feel like healing blind Bartimaeus, which I think that's what the guy's name was, that would look good. It even says everybody were excited when this guy got his sight, but this other one, that wasn't making him look good. Made other people like, why would you even talk to him? Jesus was like, I'm going to be present for all the moments. The ones that make me look good, the ones that are fun, the ones that you don't like, the ones that he's present for all of them, even the unfriendly moments.
He gave people his undivided attention. And I know that probably seems like a little thing, but it's not. It's not a little thing when you stop and listen to somebody. It's so powerful, man. It's like it's the best way that you can say, I love you, is when you look somebody in the eye when they're talking to you and you open your heart to them and you actually hear what they say and you care about what they're going through. Like, that is so powerful. That was not a little thing. Jesus did that everywhere he went. That's who he was. Whoever was around him, he was going to give them his undivided attention. He was going to be present in that moment. And I want to live like that, right? That's how I want to live my life. And it takes intentionality. It's so difficult because we got stuff we got to do. It's difficult because we're thinking about what we have to do in the future, right? We're always looking forward to something. Like if we're at work during the week, what are we looking forward to? 5 o'clock. Like, come on, 5 o'clock. Let me get up out of here. Come on, weekend. I can't wait till the weekend is here. Then I can just chill, right? Or I can go here, or I can go there, right? I can't wait for that vacation. When summer comes, we're going to take that vacation. Whew, man, then it's going to be nice, right? Right now, we just got to get through this time right now, and we can make it there. That's the way we live our lives. We're always fixated and thinking about, if I can just make it to here, if I can just, then. That wasn't Jesus. Wherever he was there, fully present in the moment. And Chad and I were talking about this, how this is hard to take, man. This is for me. And the picture that comes to my mind is when I'm on my couch, like this is the me time, right? Me and my wife, we're on the couch, we're watching our show, or I'm watching the game, and I'm just like, me time. And then my son comes and sits down on the couch and starts talking, and I don't even hear what he says because I'm not there. I'm there. I'm focused on what I'm watching. And I'm like, that's not how I need to live my life. I don't want to remember back think back on these days and be like, I had the opportunity when my son was there to share a moment with him. And now he's grown and he's got his own family, he's got his own things, and I regret wanting that back, right? Are you with me? Like, that's not what I want. And in order to avoid that, the better way to live life is to be present in the moment. And whoever's around you, man, you give them your undivided attention. That's saying, I love you. That's how we love people well, right? We do it thinking about, like, we escape the present by thinking about where we want to get to, but we also escape the present when we're in a difficult situation, and it's like, I can't wait until there's peace and quiet. I can't wait until we have a little more money. I can't wait. I need to get out of this tight jam that I'm in now, so then I can breathe, and then I can enjoy. No. Be where you are, right? And I'm not saying don't ever prepare for the future. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm saying be present. Be present. Don't miss out on what's right in front of you, right? Be present in every moment, even the annoying ones, even the difficult ones, even the interruptions. I wonder how much we miss out on life because we're looking forward to something in the future, or we're tripping up on something in the past, right? We're hung up on something in the past instead of being present in this moment, right? Let's choose to be present and choose to live the better way.
Are you still here? A study from Harvard would say 47% of us have already checked out. But since we set you up with it from the beginning, so I would say 70% are still here, maybe 30% checked out. Most of the time, 47% of the time, our mind isn't where our feet are. This is what I was talking about. Like we're somewhere else other than where we really are. We've drifted. So if you fall into that category, it's okay. Come back. Come back to us here for a few more minutes. And engage, be present in the moment with us. So often what happens is we drift and we begin to play games in our mind. And Bobby's alluded to it a little bit, but two games come to mind when I say that as I begin to think about it. And the first one is we drift and we begin to play the then-win game. Then-win. Win. I said it backwards. The win-then game. I'm sorry. So I was backwards. See, I wasn't even paying attention to what was happening. We say, when this service is over, then I get to go have lunch can't go to Chick-fil-A. When I get to have lunch at somewhere else. When I get out of this, then I'm going to get to do that. When you stop talking, then I get to continue on with my day. We play the win-then game. It happens also kind of in a bigger, grander scale. When I finally get out of high school, then I get to go to college. And then finally, when I get a good job, then I'll be able to move out on my own. I don't have to listen to what my parents say, or I don't I can take care of then I'll be able to really live life. The win-then game. When our child gets out of diapers, then we'll finally get to go out and eat again because diapers are a fortune. Then we play this game. When I get this finished, then I can enjoy that. Our minds drift. We're not present in the moment. We're playing that win-them. It's us wishing away the current moment that we're in. That's really what we're doing. We're wishing that I wish I wasn't in this moment right now with you. I wish I was doing something else. Consider the way of Jesus and consider connecting to the way so you can be fully engaged in the moments that you're in. I don't want any of us, and I hate the thought that I've done this, that I've missed what I have now because I was pursuing what I wanted later.
So when-then game is one thing we do in our mind that keeps us out of the present moment. Another game we play is what if? What if? What if I don't pass this test? And what if I don't get into a good college? What if I don't find the right person? What if I don't get that promotion at work? What if I lose my job? What if I don't have enough saved up for retirement? What if the government does this or that? Or what if so-and-so wins the presidency? What if the economy just gets worse and worse and worse? What if? What if? And we spend time doing that. Our mind goes there when we drift, and that game keeps us out of the present moment. And it puts on our shoulders and on our heart all this worry about things that are more than likely not even going to happen, right? I think we worry about 99% of the stuff we worry about doesn't even happen. But that's what we do. Our mind just goes, and it's like, what if, what if, what if? So those two games, the when, then, and what if, they keep us out of the present. And they have us tripping on either the future or on the past, right? Like, what if I could go back and change that? Or what if that hadn't happened? Maybe things would be different. That's keeping you out of this present moment. If you're playing that game, if you're playing any one of those games, instead of living in this moment, I want to remind you about something that Jesus said. I want to remind you about it because we talked about it last week. He said this, walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. So Jesus, and I believe this is a word for us, for every one of us, that he's calling to us today. He's here in this room right now, and he's inviting you, saying, come to me, walk with me. I'm going to show you the way to live freely and lightly, not to be hung up on the past, not to be tripping about the future. I'm going to show you how to live fully present in the moment, right? He is the way. He is the way, and he can get us on the way.
So now we come to the point where we're like, well, okay, what do I do? What way should I go? What exactly are you talking about? How can I be present in the moment? How do I do the opposite of drifting? Well, the answer really isn't an action. The truth is, the answer is a cessation of a couple actions, which means I stop doing other things, and they're both about surrender. So the first one is this. One way to stay in the moment is you surrender the past that you can't change. Surrender the past that you can't change. Bobby alluded a little bit to, thinking about things that happened before. We'll drift and consider the past. It goes in all kinds of categories, man. If the Texans would have just done this, they could have. And really, is there any use in even thinking about that? I mean, honestly, no, there's not. But we do it. We do it. If I would have just said this differently, then maybe things would be different. But I can't change what I said. If I'm thinking about the things of the past, I'm not in the present. Do we learn from the past? Of course we do. Do we consider, oh, wait a minute, I did this way last time. Let me do it this way because I think this way we're better. Yeah, we do those things, but I'm talking about being in the moment with people, being in the moments of your life, and all we think about is the past. We can't be in the present. So the first thing is surrender those past things. I can't change them. And when we do that, it takes us out of this moment when we're stuck to them. When we surrender them, it pulls us back to, I'm here now. Where am I at from here moving forward? So the first thing is surrender the past that you can't change.
The second thing is surrendering the future to God. So surrender the past that you can't change. Surrender the future to God and trust him, right? That's what we do. We trust God with our past and our future. Whatever has happened in the past and whatever might happen in the future, we're just laying it we're putting it in his hands. We're laying it at his feet and we're saying, God, you got it. You got the future. You're already there, God. You already know what it looks like. So I can trust and rest in that you got me. You got me. You got my kids. You got my career. You got everything, God. So I'm just going to trust you with the future. I'm not going to worry about it. And human nature is, like Chad said, to drift and to do it, to think about the past and to think about the future. And here's what I want to encourage you, that when you do that, don't get mad at yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Don't give up and just say, forget it. Gently bring yourself back, because you're human. It's okay. Just don't worry about it. Put it in God's hands, however many times that takes. Put it in God's hands, however many times it takes. Surrender the past and the future to God and trust him with it. Of course, what we plan for the future. We prepare for the future. I think we'd be fools not to do that, but we don't live there. We're not waiting for the future. We're living in the present moment. Our way, our journey, our focus must be on the present moments, because honestly, that's all we have. That's it. We got today, my friend. We don't know what tomorrow holds, right? But we got today. And we trust God with tomorrow, right? And we're present with him today. All right, you still here with us? Okay. Let me say this. You can't be happy in this moment if you're not in this moment. If you're thinking about the past, you're worried about the future, you can't be happy in this moment. You're missing it, right? You can't serve Jesus in this moment if you're not in this moment. You can't follow him. If you're stuck in the past, if you're just waiting on the future, then you're missing out on what Jesus has for you right here, right now, and the people who are right in front of you. Like, that's what you're missing out on, right? You can't love people well in this moment if you're not in this moment.
So please don't miss what you have now because you're stuck on what happened then. And please don't miss what you have now pursuing what you want later. I've done this, and I regret. I mean, I'm not living in regret, but I do regret. Like, man, I've done what Bobby was mentioning. Like, I've been there in the room with people, but I wasn't home. I wasn't there. My wife, my children, family, and maybe some people sitting in this room. And that's not how I want my life to be. I want to be living in the moments that I'm in. I want to follow Jesus as the way and grab hold of his way of doing just that. So let's take a couple minutes, a couple of special moments right here and right now. And let's talk to God. I mean, if I'm going to be in the moment with anybody, let's be in the moment. I want to be right there in that moment with God because he knows what's happening there, because he's the best one for me to connect with. And if I can do that, I can certainly connect with people. So let's take a minute. And I would like to lead you in asking God a couple questions. But this isn't you listening to me pray to God. That's not what we're doing. What I want to happen, and would very much ask for you guys, is take the question and you ask God yourself. You can reword it if you want, or you can ask a totally different question. That's fine. But take the minute. It's just a couple minutes to say, God, I want to be in this moment with you. What do you want to say to me about this? What do you want to tell me? And just let him speak into your life, into your heart. Be in this moment. Pay attention. And if we pay attention to God and we put him at the center of what we're focusing on in this moment, he'll be here with you. And he'll speak to your heart. He'll lead you. He'll guide you. So let's try it. Let's try it. I'm going to pray for just a second, and then we're going to ask God questions. And remember, you ask them. I'm going to do it like it's me, but you do this for yourself as well. Lord, we thank you that we have these special moments with you. And just as we ask these questions, God, will you silence any other voices that are trying to speak to us right now? Will you help us really be in the moment with you and engage with what you're saying to our hearts, God? Here come the questions. God, what is my current way? Lord, am I living in the past or the present or the future? Will you tell me? if you knew immediately or heard God say, oh yeah, you've been living in the past, well then ask this question. Well, God, will you show me how you're redeeming my past? God, I want to let go of my past. Will you show me what you will exchange? Give me an exchange for letting go of that. What are you handing me today, God? This next question is really simple. If you were asking God, where am I been focusing? Where have I been living? And he's like, you've been really living in the future and not the present. Then ask God this very simple question that probably has a very simple answer. God, are you the one that's in charge of my future? The way my brain works, I might even ask it in one different way. God, can I trust you with my future? Lord, I pray that as you speak to our hearts today in this moment, will you seal up those things that you've said to us in our heart? As we head out of here and we go about our day and go about our week, Lord, I want to be in the moment with you. We want to be in those moments with you, and we want the things that you're saying to us in this moment to propel us forward, to guide us, to fulfill and sustain us, God. We really want to live your way. We just pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Will you all stand up with us? Be present in the moment. And like the little moments like right here, right now, and then also in the bigger moments that, the moment might be a week long, but I was in that moment all week. All week long I was present. Let's follow Jesus' way. Be present, and thought about this one, and embrace the moments. Even those moments where it's like, oh, this is annoying. Oh, I don't like this moment. This moment might even hurt. Be present in those moments too. Grab hold of the moment, pull it close and say, God, let whatever you want to do in my life in this moment with this person or with what's happening, let's do it. That's one of the ways that Jesus lived, and that's a better way. That's a better way than drifting. Because drifting doesn't really change what's happening. It just changes our involvement with it. Let's close out with our prayer. Y'all say this with me. Lord, show me your ways. Teach me how to follow you. Guide me in your truth. Amen. It's been so great hanging out with you guys this morning. Thank you for spending Sunday morning with us. If you need prayer, we have people that are ready to pray for you right up here at the front. They'll take the time with you. God bless you, and we hope to see you soon.